Alex, let's stick with soccer. We have the MLS season kicking off tonight. You have Messi and Inter Miami hosting Real Salt Lake down in South Florida. Let's talk a little bit about, some news that you reported last week. MLS Season Pass on Apple TV Plus hit nearly 2 million subs by the end of last season. It's a pretty big number.
Yeah, in fact, I almost made MLS my who's up for these subscriber numbers. They had more than 2 million subscribers at the end of last season. Obviously, right now they're trying to renew as many of those as possible and bring in new subscribers. But this is a really good start, especially when you consider that before Lionel Messi joined the league last year, they were under 1 million subscribers. So more than 2x during the latter half of the season. It's also great news for Messi, of course, because as part of his agreement with Apple, he gets a cut of international subscription revenue. He's directly benefiting from the attention that he's bringing to the league globally. It's worth noting that these numbers do include folks that were promotional subscribers, people who signed up throughout the season at prorated amounts, but it's really just, it's a good start for MLS. There were a lot of questions early in the year last year about, whether this service was gaining any traction. And I think that this figure shows that it is. Now, Don Garber did tell us that the league is not yet at its revenue sharing threshold. For a little bit of background, the league has a $250 million a year agreement with Apple, but they can get additional revenue on top of that if they surpass a certain threshold of subscriptions. They haven't gotten there yet. Don Garber said they're looking at it as a long-term partnership, and I don't think they necessarily had expected to be there yet, but just worth noting that they do want to see this number grow significantly so that they can get to that revenue share and get that additional money.
I mean, like you said, it's only year 2 of what's supposed to be a 10-year deal between the two sides, so you have some time there. It showed the power, though, of what Messi can deliver, and he's going to continue to. It's his first full season. We've talked ad nauseum about how he's able to pack crowds, and now we're talking about how he's able to draw in subscribers to that subscription service. But, this is a 10-year deal. So let's look a little beyond Messi. Who are some of the other faces that MLS could maybe count on in the longer term to draw people to this package on Apple TV+.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I think it's really important that, as much as MLS wants to make the most of this moment they have here with Messi, they need to promote other players, and they need to promote, I think, the Inter Miami brand in particular, not as just we have Messi, but we have sort of a super team that we're building here with Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba and Luis Suarez. When the Heat in the NBA, for example, had their big three, obviously you could have just focused on LeBron James, but they focused on it as a big three with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Similarly now, I think it's important for them to kind of lean into that whole Miami team, especially when you consider that, Messi has had some concerns with his health that have kept him out of some games in the preseason. And, I think if you lean too hard into promoting the league around Messi, that can backfire if he's not on the field. Some other players to watch outside of Miami, Hani Mukhtar from Nashville, the reigning MVP Luciano Acosta from Cincinnati, Dennis Bouanga from LAFC. There's no shortage of talent across this league, but there are also very few household names. So I think that there's some work to do there.
I mean, you talk about Acosta. I mean, he was a fellow Argentine that was just overshadowed by the arrival of Messi, and a lot of people wouldn't even be able to tell you, I think, that he won the MLS MVP award because of just the fervor around the arrival of Messi in MLS last season, particularly in the second half.